Welcome. Well, it's time for motivation. I am not the one taking motivation this morning. We have somebody who, of course, is an expert at that one. Fola Daniel is joining us. And today, we're talking about managing emotional blackmail.
Yes,
Are
absolutely.
we talking from the blackmailer side or from the blackmailee?
Well, we're going to look at both sides, and
Okay.
we're going to look at it as an individual and also in the workplace.
Okay.
But first of all, let's ask ourselves, what's the purpose of emotional blackmail? The blackmail generally is to get you to do something that is previously undesired, to get an action by the person who is blackmailing. Now, there are times when the blackmailing is done intentionally, and there are times when it's done unintentionally. Okay. So we're focusing more on that aspect where the blackmail is more unintentional.
Unintentional?
And, yes, more unintentional. And in this case, or maybe not necessarily unintentional, but in a very subtle manner. In this case, it could be from friends, it could be from colleagues, it could be from family, it could be from those around you in the same neighborhood. There's something that you don't want to do. They think that you can do it, and they just want to get you to do it. Or they have an opinion of who you should be, and they're trying to fix you into that mode. Have you ever tried to do something that, has your mother ever tried to force you to do something that you don't want to do? Or has your father ever tried to force you to do something that you don't want to do?
Forget my father. They didn't used to force me.
Then you hear questions like, if I did not carry you for 9 months in my womb, the moment you hear
That's
that,
these days. Not my own day. They don't used to force me. Ogbeni, go and do that thing. I don't
immediately.
Do it.
You
Times have
understand?
changed. Carrying their womb, talk about not my mom.
So you understand that there are statements that generally parents sometimes make, and the moment you hear those things, I breastfed you, I paid your school fees, those kind of things. Now, while sometimes they have good intentions, they don't intend to just put you under pressure. Some of those statements are emotional blackmail. There are other times people say things to you to suck money out of you. I was there for you when nobody was there. Now you have made money. Now you have a job. You don't remember us again. You are forming class. When you didn't have a car, we were all together. All of those kinds of statements are things that people say to force you to do something that you probably didn't plan for, or you don't even have the budget for at that moment. It's usually to get you to do something that you are not planning to do or don't want to do. So what's the problem with this? It's that they try to manipulate you into doing something else. The problem with it is that they have their own end goals in mind. And if you're not careful, you will keep falling for it. If you keep falling for this blackmail, you keep doing what other people want and never be able to do what you want. Okay. It's because of emotional blackmail that some people are on the jobs that they are doing today. It was never the job they wanted to do. It's because of emotional blackmail that some people went to study law that they didn't plan to study. It's because of emotional blackmail that some people went to study medicine, even though they never loved it. It's emotional blackmail that made some people go into some other fields that, these were things that people never wanted to. So it's important to recognize that if people are constantly asking you to do something and making you feel bad if you don't want to do it, or making it feel like you owe them something, so you must do what they want because you owe them something, that's the emotional blackmail. And we see it on a daily basis. Take, for example, even in the office, if somebody covered for you once, maybe you needed to do something, you needed some quick timeout, and somehow somebody covered for you, nobody noticed you were away, and in a jiffy you came back. The moment they want to do something else that's probably not legal, they're asking you that you must do this for me, you must cover for me, you must say something for me, even though what they want to do is not legal. And they remind you that, look, I was there for you.
Yeah, but what you did, was it legal?
It could be that what you did was legal. Maybe you didn't have enough time to, go through the proper channel or something. Okay. Another case is that what you did was perfectly legal, but you didn't have time to say, please, I need to be out. Maybe it was an emergency or something, and they covered for your shifts. But in their own case, they have no reason to be out. They're just insisting, look, I was there for you, now you must stand in for me. So it's important to make sure that you don't live your life constantly under the pressure of emotional blackmail. And sometimes this emotional blackmail also comes from siblings. And that's a lot worse. If it's coming from siblings, you feel like you owe them. If it's coming from maybe some of your colleagues that or friends that you've grown up together, childhood friends that you've been together for like 10 years, 15, 20 years, you feel obligated to respond
But then
to
there
some
are
of their
times when
actions.
those obligations
Yes.
are actually valid. And there are actual times when you actually do even owe these people.
Can I shock you? In this life, you owe absolutely nobody nothing. And nobody owes you anything.
Okay.
It's important to reciprocate the good gestures of other people. And I am all for reciprocating the gestures of other people. But you must not force other people to reciprocate your own gesture towards them. If you do something for other people, do it like you're doing it for humanity.
Not everybody can do it like that.
That's where the blackmail begins.
And if I was if I wanted to move it to business,
Yeah.
as a shrewd businessman, I might be thinking that if I do something for you, when and if the time comes, I would ask back for my pound of
Business
flesh.
is a bit different. Business is a bit different because it's about interest, it's about profit. And all
Exactly.
that,
So if
which-
I have the
which
chance,
makes a lot of sense.
we get that thing.
That makes a lot of sense because
Okay.
you've emphasized the fact that it's business. But if it's not business, we're talking about just having a relationship. There are times when what you're asking of me is something that will cause me to go out of my way into an unreasonable length just to please you. Now that's blackmail and it's not reasonable. So the question is, how do you stop emotional blackmail? First of all, there are some favors you need to cut out.
Okay.
You notice some people are being unnecessarily nice to you. You need to watch it before you accept their favors. Because there are people who will do one thing for you and come back and ask for 10 things.
Okay.
The other thing is you need to set boundaries. Of course, if people do something for you, if people have been there for you, if people are with you, appreciate them. Thank them for whatever it is that they have done, but set boundaries. If there's something that you can do in return within your resources without killing yourself, do it. But don't feel like I must do this thing back for this other person. The moment you feel that if they ask for something, then you must jump and get it done, you're already in a trap. And trust me, if they know that you will always jump, then they will keep coming back. And you will never get out of that trap anytime, any day.
There are times when the emotional blackmail, as it were,
Yeah.
is to your own advantage.
No, it's never to your
In the
own
case
advantage.
of
Blackmail
somebody-
is never to your advantage.
You remember the time when they will force us to take medicine and then they'll try, you were talking about parents to kids
Yeah.
now, and then you try to tell the person, maybe you put it inside the food or something, try to make them, it's to their advantage, but you're blackmailing them.
So in that context, you're looking for subtle means to get somebody to do what's needful for them.
Yeah, because at times now,
So-
when you tell
so
somebody,
the-
you want to, for instance, let's just take classmates who want to read, your junior brother,
Yeah.
and you tell him that, okay, if you go to the class and read, tomorrow I'll give you this thing.
In that case, the person benefits, but in a blackmail, it's the person who is
So
blackmailing.
you won't call this, okay, this one is not blackmail.
It's not blackmail, because the person you're talking to benefits, but for blackmail is the person pushing it that benefits.
That benefits.
Exactly.
All right, that definition really does quite make quite well sense in
Thank you.
when you're looking at this holistically. Thank you very much for that. I
My
know we'll have
pleasure.
you across tomorrow. We'll have to talk more about this.
Absolutely.
All right, okay, that's it. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be back with our SME right after this.